Bonjour, my name is Thibaut Beaujeau and I'm the president of the French New Zealand Chamber of Commerce. For 35 years, our non-for-profit organization is supporting trade between France, New Zealand, and the French Pacific. Today, I have the great pleasure to introduce you to Drew Muirhead, CEO of Sistema Plastics. Bonjour, Drew, and welcome.
Bonjour, Thibaut. My pleasure being here today.
Yeah, thanks very much for making the time in your busy schedule, Drew. Could you tell us about your business, about Sistema?
Yeah, so Sistema Plastics is based in New Zealand, in Auckland. We have a 55,000 square metre facility here where we do 100% of our manufacturing, and then we ship to the rest of the globe from here. In the early days, Sistema began in 38 years ago. It was founded by a gentleman called Brendan Lindsay and started in his garage in Cambridge. And then over the years, as it started to grow, he moved to Auckland. And then today we're exporting product not only in New Zealand, but 110 countries around the globe. So we've come from very humble and small beginnings to being really one of the big, large global players in the plastic food storage in the market.
Yeah, that's right. One of the big flagship New Zealand companies internationally. And speaking about the international market, so what are your activities on the French market?
Yep. So we opened our French office in May 2015. So we've been based in Paris now. We've got a team there based in Paris and services that French market. So that obviously opened. We prior to this, we had a distributor working for us, and we decided it was an important market for us to have a foothold in. And then we set up our own office in French in Paris and started from there. So it's become quite a key country for us to have a foothold in Europe.
Yeah, and I believe you are selling into big supermarket chains in France, like Carrefour, for example, and Leclerc, probably?
Yeah, Intermarché, System U, Zodio, Casino, Carrefour. Yeah, it's going really well.
And so you must have been to France. And from your perspective, what are the striking differences in the way of doing business in France?
I think Sistema has become quite successful in the French market due to we've got a point of difference with our product. There's not only a product design, but the format and configuration we've got and the colours, we're very colourful.
Yep.
I think it maybe appeals to the French personalities rather than your generic plain colour that's just all the same, whereas Sistema brings that bit of differentiation to all the competition. So we feel that that's been one of the important factors of our success there.
Mm-hmm. And so from your experience, what learning and advice would you share with any New Zealand company willing to do business and export to the French market?
I would definitely say you have to do your research thoroughly before going there. We found the cost of administration in France and to run the office far exceeds all our other branches around. We've got branches in London and Australia, America, and head office here in New Zealand. But the French office, the cost to run the office is way higher than any of the other. All the regulatory compliance, the French it's very different from the rest of the world as well. It's quite strict. So you need to do your research and that. And it's slow. It's the distribution. I mean, it did take time. It's a bit of the French to get that base going. It was a bit of a snowball effect. We started our first customer was Galeries Lafayette.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a department store window for us. We got a product in there, and today it's still there today. And then it snowballed on. Once the other retailers noticed it and seen it in Galleries Lafayette, then we started expanding out from there, and they're in the broad market we're in today throughout all the rest of the country.
Yeah, that's a fantastic journey and a fantastic story. I found like in only 4 years in that market with your own subsidiary to have such a stunning success is fantastic to see for a New Zealand brand that, as you mentioned earlier, started in a garage in a very small town. That's fantastic. Speaking about the French market and European market in general, what are your upcoming objectives? And I understand that, you know, with the current situation we are in, they probably changed quite a bit over the last few months. But what are your objectives from probably a short term and a long term perspective in those markets?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you mentioned the last few months. Things have changed very much and still changing, but it possibly is businesses heading in a more online area. Certainly seeing some growth there, but we feel it's very, very important that we build a stronger brand story through our bricks and mortars. And we're certainly not giving up on our retailers. You need that presence of your product on shelf for it to resonate with the consumer when they then go on and click online. That we're continuing to grow that brand awareness. It's very important. We're doing. We're still building on that through the knowledge we're learning from our social media. So we're building that as well. We're putting a lot into different channels in that, which is helping. We're getting some good engagement and good content going on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. But we've only recently launched in Amazon France.
All right.
So that was just in the last 6 months. So yeah, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, probably the right time to launch your product on that platform. With this unprecedented situation where consumers are shopping more and more online.
Well,
yeah.
They can't leave. The restriction only now opening up, but prior to that, everyone's at home bored and they're just searching online day and night.
Yeah, that's right. Cool. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup, Andrew. I really appreciate your time with us today. We are wishing you all the best for the next few months and few years, especially on the French market. We are looking forward to hear about your upcoming successes on that market. And as always, the French New Zealand Chamber of Commerce is committed to support its community here in New Zealand. So get in touch with us on LinkedIn or Facebook if you want to learn more. À bientôt, Andrew.